Halloween night of 1999 was the night of a tragedy which stuck with Cindy for nearly 2 years. Cindy, Bobby, Ray, Brenda, and Greg were partying in their car, carelessly driving full speed while not paying any attention to literally anything. Greg gets a little crazy and sticks his head out of the sunroof. Meanwhile, Bobby is arguing with Cindy because he wants to finally do something, but she still doesn't want to. After a good bit of arguing, Bobby swerves a little too much and hits a man. The group jumps out of the car and search for the fallen boot.
Oh my god, we hit a boot! Where's the foot?
Oh shit, wait, I mean body.
Hey, Cindy! Do you know what they do to young boys in prison? You know those sex-starved convicts just waiting for a fresh piece of meat?
Hey, you're right, Cindy. Maybe we should call the police.
Luckily, the man gets up and lets them know he's completely fine.
It's okay, I'm fine.
Unfortunately, they decide to throw away their alcohol at the perfect moment.
Cindy, come on. We'll just pretend it never happened. You know, like the time we got drunk and we went down on each other?
While packing the body, Shorty comes driving down. Luckily, he's not all there.
Shorty, I know you ain't driving without no papers.
I got papers, blunts, bongs, all the ingredients to make a high nigga pie.
They decide to dump the poor man into the Great Lake. They strip him of his valuables and throw him over. Despite Doofy Gilmore pulling off a fake mental handicap, the small town of Woodsboro made sure to maintain a level of trust and respect for him. Around 2000, tragedy struck the small town of Woodsboro after Doofy carries out the murder of Drew Decker. He mistakes her friend for her boyfriend and restrains him. He then uses a voice changer to further conceal his identity. Finally, he calls her.
Hello?
After the panic sets in, she runs to the front door. As she's trying to run out, she's ambushed. So, she attacks. But it isn't him. It's a group of candy pirates. After apologizing, she realizes she has to fight back. So she turns around and closes the door.
Hello, Drew.
She reaches onto her trusty weapons table and grabs her banana. So she puts in some footwork and manages to run out the slider door. She goes the complete wrong way. She's getting a lot of distance on him until she trips. Into a body sketch? What is going on at this house? He rips most of all her clothes off, but it doesn't stop her. Until she reaches the sprinklers. Those do. He catches up with her and stabs her boob. It's actually seeming like she might make it. Her dad's driving home, and she tries her hardest to get his attention, but he's busy and hits her. Finally, Doofy catches up and finishes the job. Gale Weatherstorm, a reporter actively on the search for anyone with information, shoots one of the students because they wouldn't move. Shorty's one of the first to be interviewed, but I don't think any of them get valuable information.
Can you tell us about Drew?
Well, she had the fat ass, son. I mean, it was like bang.
How close were you to the victim?
Real close. Until the roofies were...
God damn it!
Greg shows Buffy his report card, and it is quite tragic.
Well, at least you got one A.
Bobby wakes up pretty late, but it's okay because he lives right next door. Gale decides to sexually manipulate Doofy in order to get some insight on the case. She sloppily flirts with him and leads him to her van. I think it's here that he reveals his true self. He tells her the plan and gives her the best story of her life.
You go to your daddy.
I'll see you after class.
Ray takes Bobby to a gay club. Then they share a passionate night at a private hotel in San Francisco, and it's around this time Bobby realizes they need to go down in history, just like the famous murderers on TV. Cindy catches a sight of Ghostface, I mean the murderer, outside the class's window, but he runs away. Then she magically finds a note on her desk, bringing her back to nice moment, I guess. But then she opens the other one, and it brings her back to her secret murder. After Greg's brief workout, he's frustrated to find a picture of his That night, Buffy has a talent show. She's on stage while Greg, Bobby, and Cindy stand on a balcony, giving them the perfect view of Buffy and her contestants. Ray lurks in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike Greg. Cindy decides to go down and sit in the crowd for a better view, and Bobby goes to the bathroom. Buffy decides to perform a dramatic performance, giving Ray the perfect setup. Greg is brutally murdered in front of Buffy. She tries to help him by alerting the audience, but nobody realizes it's real. Buffy's crowned winner, and they decide he was just pulling a prank and move on. While Cindy's having a bath, she gets a call from Bobby. He tells her he's gonna be dropping by soon, and right after, she gets a call from the murderer, reminding her that he knows her secret. She runs downstairs and receives another call. He tells her he's in the house and asks to play hide and seek. He falls over and loses her for a moment. Cindy throws her grandma at him, and when that doesn't work, she throws a piano. But that doesn't work either. Only further damaging her grandma. The murderer follows closely behind, but she reaches her room. They get there in a second, but the killer's already gone. Bobby shows up and gets caught red-handed, but Doofy accidentally saves him by ringing the doorbell. Although Bobby's still temporarily arrested, the sheriff shows Cindy some images before letting her go, but she doesn't approve of any of them.
I'm sorry, Sheriff.
You sure? Okay, you're free to go.
The murderer tries to call Shorty and asks him if he's all alone, but he's interrupted by Shorty's friend. And that's when another one joins the call. And then another one. What is going on in this house? Cindy arranges a party and invites Shorty, but asks him to keep it a secret. Right after promising, he turns around and announces it to the entire school.
Women for everybody!
Cindy asks Ray to tell Bobby not to come because she doesn't want him getting hurt and that she loves him. But Ray doesn't completely understand the message.
Okay, if I see Bobby, I'll tell him I love him.
Luckily, she runs into Bobby right after and basically repeats everything that she said to Ray with a few extra steps. She reassures him that she now knows it isn't him, even though it is. Buffy's confronted in the locker room while she's alone. She makes fun of him, thinking he's Cindy, so he stabs her in the stomach. She runs in circles until she stops and breaks her leg. After the gnarly injury, she collapses. He walks up to her and chops her head off with his knife. He throws her head in the garbage and moves on.
I will not be ignored by likes.
Cindy runs outside in the middle of a teacher contemplating suicide. She has a mental breakdown and accidentally triggers him to pull through.
What are you waiting for?
Brenda's stabbed to death by the audience and the murderer for being too loud.
Your ass is grass.
Meanwhile, Cindy's party is in full throttle. The murderer kills a girl while she's getting refills, and Cindy gets drunk. So she invites Bobby upstairs for a good bit of fun.
Can I tell you a secret?
Sure, man.
I see dead people.
Shorty turns his fish tank into a bong, then smokes with the murderer. Never forget, pottery unites. After getting blazed, they have a pretty good rap battle, but it eventually turns deadly. After Bobby and Cindy finish having their first moment, she questions him a second time. At first, he denies, but then he reveals something only the killer would know. Greg and Buffy are dead. As she's getting ready to run, Ray charges in and stabs Bobby. Cindy runs away and nearly makes it to the front door before she realizes Bobby made it out of the room and is staying close behind. She turns around and grabs him. She pulls a handgun out of a neighboring vanity, then struggles to open the door. Shorty runs out of the basement. He alerts them of the upcoming danger just before Bobby steals Cindy's gun and shoots Shorty. It's here that Bobby reveals he has been the murderer, and Ray didn't actually stab him, it's just ketchup. Then, Ray comes out of the living room and drops the bomb that he's been following behind Bobby. And Bobby reveals that he's actually gay, and he's been with Ray. But Ray drops the bomb that he isn't gay. Bobby quickly moves on and tells Ray to bring Cindy's dad out. Bobby then tells Ray to stab him, so Ray does it without hesitation. But he goes a little overboard and murders Bobby. With Bobby's last few words, he asks to stab Ray back, but Ray denies, and he almost gets away with it until Doofy finally reveals himself and murders Ray. Cindy's then chased out of the kitchen and commences in an awesome Matrix fight. The editing in this scene unironically makes it the scariest part of this entire movie. After Cindy finally defeats the killer, she unbinds her dad. The two run outside, and Doofy disappears. The police take her away, leaving her dad to do whatever he does.
Okay.
While the police are interviewing Cindy, Doofy says goodbye, and Cindy catches a coincidence that only the murderer would say. She realizes it was Doofy all along. He walks to Gail's car, slowly taking off his disguise, revealing his true natures.
Hey, do you guys know this one?
Now this is the real shit.
Shake your ass. Watch yourself. Shake your ass. Show me what you're working with.
Attention, all young players and pimps, right now is the place to be.
I thought I told y'all niggas before, y'all niggas don't fuck with me.
You suck.
Suck on this.
Shorty, Ray, and Brenda manage to survive. They're all now in college with Cindy, and we also meet her new friend and love interest, Buddy. A professor talks with his newly hired manager, Dwight. They plan on bringing a group of trauma-filled college students to a house they call the Hell House. They want to capture paranormal activity on camera. Dwight believes the ghosts are more likely to bother people who've endured near-death experiences. Within Cindy's first few minutes, she's disrespected by a very foul, possessed bird.
You ever seen a bird dick this big? Too much for you, huh, baby?
Yeah.
And almost right after, she's sexually harassed by a toy clown, hinting at an amazing stay. I always hate to cut into the middle of these videos, but this movie sucks. If you cut out the gross out jokes, there's like 20 minutes. And that still features a few not so edgy jokes.
Kiss my grits.
I think I'll be the bigger man now and walk away. Walk away.
I'll go and change for dinner.
I love the first one, but this one's content quality compares to that of epic movie.
You're mine now.
Burgerlicious definition make them boys go loco. They want my treasures so they get their pleasures from my boat. So you can see me, you can't squeeze me. I'm easy, I got reasons why.
Don't get me wrong, the jokes are still spectacular, iconic even. The story is scary movie level, which yes is great, albeit in its own twisted way.
That sounds kinda gay.
Cindy and Buddy find a hidden door. Buddy makes a comparison of Cindy to the original owner, and they move on. Alex is raped by a ghost, but she wakes up and turns out that she wants it. What the fuck? In the end, he runs away because she gave him crabs. Cindy's attacked by a possessed cat, so they have a certified Cindy fight, but unfortunately she loses this one. Cindy attempts to alert the professor, but he isn't interested in a report as much as a lesbian experience. The toy clown attempts to rape Ray, but Ray rapes him.
This is a fun game! Hey, what are you doing?
Uncle Ray Ray's got a game.
Hey, get your finger out of there!
Tickle, 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 tickle.
Ah!
The clown tries to run, but he can't get away.
There's a little balloon animal.
Cindy's called by the spirit, and it possesses Cindy. It goes downstairs and begins seducing the professor, but is thrown away. The spirit dips, and Cindy's awoken. Cindy tells the professor that the wife caught her husband cheating on her, so she murdered him. Now the husband stalks the house as an evil poltergeist. While Shorty's getting ready to go to bed, he's picked up by his pottery planner and smoked. But luckily his friends show up in time with the munchies.
Put the shorty down! I'll give you Funyuns and Cheetos!
Buddy follows the professor to the basement and finds him and Dwight actively having a secret conversation about holding everyone hostage until they've got what they need. Theo attempts to seduce Dwight, but he gets offended and shows off his skills. She smacks him with a phone and snatches the keys before dipping. The professor is led to the basement by the poltergeist and is presumably eaten. Everybody regroups in the basement to gear up, and in the end, they decide to split up. Well, technically split up.
All right, now let's split up.
How come every time some scurry shit happen that we need to stick together, you white people always say let's split up?
She's right. Okay, you three, follow me.
We gonna die, yo.
Shorty's the first to go missing, so Ray goes back to find him, leaving Brenda alone. Cindy and Buddy find themselves at a furnace. Cindy decides to search through the ashes for something useful, but a skeleton rises, so Buddy decides to distract the skeleton. While saying his final words to Cindy, he sticks a note on her back. Cindy runs the opposite direction and finds Shorty hiding in a closet. He immediately kicks her out and the skeleton finds her. She runs for a few seconds until she almost finds Brenda, who's purposefully hiding from her. Cindy falls and Brenda waits for her to die, but she gets up, giving up Brenda's location at long last. At first, Brenda's upset, until she finds out that it's a skeleton. She rearranges it and makes up with Cindy. They find Buddy shortly after and begin to relax, until Buddy's given a super wedgie by the poltergeist. Brenda runs away yet again, and Cindy scares away the ghost. Alex finds the evil poltergeist and chases him down. After destroying his ex-wife's room, she goes for a while until he finally knocks her out. Cindy and Buddy clean up after finally reaching safety, but it's short-lived after a ghost pulls both of them into a walk-in freezer. Dwight has a wheelchair battle with a ghost, and he attempts to shoot him, so he resorts to dueling, but loses miserably and is shot out of a window. The waiter tries to give him a helping hand, but he refuses and lets go. Immediately after, the ghost possesses the waiter.
No, I've served you well. Don't you do this to me.
Cindy's called to dinner and finds Shorty missing the top of his head, but it's okay because he didn't have a brain. Cindy and the other girls chase the possessed waiter into the basement. Dwight drags himself back inside through the house and reaches the guys in the basement within a few minutes. What an incredible man.
I can't believe he's still one tough motherfucker.
Cindy defeats the possessed waiter after a pretty long certified Cindy battle.
The mad cow. Moo! Motherfucker!
As Dwight triggers the platform, she reveals the poltergeist. She gets him on the platform and they flick the switch, freeing Shorty at long last. Cindy takes the bird home and gets her revenge.
God damn it! What the fuck did you put in this bird seed?
And everything goes back to normal. While Cindy and Buddy are on their way to a date, Buddy disappears. Then the waiter reveals himself, but he's immediately hit by a distracted Shorty.
Did you hear something?
Nah, I ain't hear nothing.
A few years before Tom's alien encounters, his wife was involved in a fatal car crash. Originally, he was a priest, but after his wife was hit and split in half, he retired. Around the time of Tom's loss, Cindy adopted her sister's son, Cody. She was extremely addicted to heavy drugs and incapable of raising him. And plus, Cindy's cat had just died due to a house fire, and she needed something new to pet and feed. Two young women are murdered by an evil spirit named Tabitha. A man named Bob is rudely awoken one morning by his screaming daughter. She stops, so he goes to the bathroom, but she starts back up again. So he runs outside to meet his brother, who points out the dog's acting quite strange. From there, they're led into a cornfield to find Bob's daughter terrified. They overlook a half-empty field, one which was not empty yesterday. Cindy is now a news reporter, who's currently reporting on the strange occurrence. The crops say attack here, but Cindy's boss tells her it's a hoax and warns her to move forward. Bob asks George to stay on the farm, but George tells him he's,
Not that stupid hip-hop stuff again. Damn it, George, when are you gonna do something with your life?
I got a dream.
What is your dream?
To have a dream.
busy.
You just hate me because I'm black. You don't have any faith in me. So why don't you just worry about you, and I'll worry about...
Brenda's now a school teacher. Coincidentally, she's Cody's teacher, which Cindy's shocked to discover when she's picking Cody up from school. George runs into Cindy while picking up his niece, Sue, and invites Cindy and Brenda to his rap battle.
Bird, you two should come down. I'll be rapping, I'll be capping, I'll be tapping, I'll be flapping, I'll be happing. Ning, ding, bing, wing. Yo, sounds kinda gay.
George has some pre-show jitters, but is brought back to earth by his friends CJ and Malik.
This club is totally pathetic.
Simon Cowell is shot to death. George almost wins, but is inevitably thrown out of a window. Brenda pranks Cindy, but would come to regret it after she's confronted by Tabitha. Cindy's attending Brenda's funeral, and it's going pretty comfortably until George shows up. He's thrown out another window and told that Cindy's into him.
Getting late tonight. He doesn't know you're a guy.
Cindy watches the tape and gets a call. George basically kills a guy, but he gets a call from Cindy, and so he drives right over. He makes the mistake of bringing his friends. They say they know someone and leave George with Cody. Cindy meets with the Oracle. She shows them the tape and they send her to the architect. When Cindy gets home, she's shocked to find George passed out. She goes to his room and finds the tape played through on his TV. She gets a phone call and it's Tabitha. George dips, and I probably would have too.
Oh, you think I'm crazy, don't you?
Of course I do. The last thing you need now is a...
Tom goes upstairs to check on Sue, but it turns out to be Michael Jackson. He drops him out of her window and runs to investigate the body. However, when Tom reaches it, he's shocked to find that it's just a suit and the monster disappears into the cornfield. Cindy attempts to warn everyone by hijacking the news teleprompter, but the janitor saves the day.
Oh, shizzle gizengar. But I've been cleaning after this dumbass cracker Giggins for 10 years. But I've been waxing his bitch's ass for 12. Know what I'm saying, nigga? Sharpton for president, y'all. I'm outie. Peace.
The president gets the press files, but he seems to just not care. He then speaks on his anxiety, and he's relieved with some old school Tupac.
All eyes on me. This shit is banging.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Cindy makes her way to the lighthouse and comes face to face with the architect. Tom carefully wraps Sue and George's heads in tinfoil while they watch the news. Tom decides they must barricade the house. Cody runs to George's house and hides with them. Cindy eventually realizes where he is and and runs to Tom's farm. Cindy hears some commotion behind the door, so she slides her knife under it and finds the aliens in the reflection. They look up her skirt for a while until they're interrupted by Cody's grabbed up by Malik. George attempts to beat him with a shovel, but he fatally misses and beats Cody in consequence. Malik eventually lets go and he falls through the vent. Malik motivates the men to fight back, so they run outside armed with various weapons. 2 aliens sneak up behind them, but the president runs them over. He reveals Cindy is the key to saving Earth. More saucers come, but the hood, whatever.
I told you the hood always got your back.
Hey, y'all want some biscuits? You want some biscuits?
These men died for their country. Send flowers to their bitches and hoes.
The men are ambushed, but the aliens stop and reveal that they too need to destroy Tabitha because they watched the tape as well.
Our satellite picked up what we thought was Pootie Tang. That was a week ago. And now our entire race will die.
Cindy discovers Tom's farm was Tabitha's old home, the one she died in. So Cindy destroys the floor, revealing a massive well buried underneath. The girl comes out and pranks Cindy a bit, but Tabitha grabs Cody. So Cindy tries to have a one-on-one, and it works.
Thank you all. Your love has broken the curse and freed my soul. I'll never have to kill again. Really?
Or not. But the president comes down and saves the day. George closes the lid, and his new alien buddies come in to say goodbye. Finally, George and Cindy get married. Shaq wakes up next to Dr. Phil in a sick game. They're actively breathing nerve gas and are chained to a wall. Shaq tries to make a basket, but he misses 3 times and manages to motivate himself to saw through his own foot. In the end, he's shocked to find it was the wrong foot. He quickly passes out, meaning both Shaq and Dr. Phil die. Tom walks around his apartment in what looks to be a mental health-stricken daze. He walks out to his living room and he's about to cut himself when Cindy butts in. She makes him stab himself, then tells him Cody went to military school. He takes a bottle of pills and is shocked to find that they were Viagra. His dick grows too big, resulting in a loss of balance. He stumbles around before finally falling to his death. Thomas is currently suffering a divorce. He gets his kids for a visit, but he isn't a very good dad.
Hey, that's not true. I'm a great dad. Kids!
Dad?
Cindy starts a new job, and she's gonna be an in-home technician. She tries to help her client out, but she doesn't make a very good first impression. Her manager tries his hardest to cover up the paranormal activity and actually succeeds, but only because Cindy is a fucking idiot. Tom tries to play ball with his son Robbie, but it doesn't go very well. Tom hits Cindy in the face, and she instantly falls in love. Kayako helps Cindy freshen up, but Cindy freaks out. As she's cooling down, she's confronted by Toshio yet again, but he falls down the stairs and disappears. She tries to ask her client, but doesn't get very far. So she tries to investigate the attic, and is yet again confronted by Toshio. She scares him off by lighting his hand on fire, but dips out after, and honestly I would too. Cindy tries to have a conversation with Tom, but he just does not get it, leading Cindy to reveal that she was once married to George. She was a professional boxer, and he was her coach. She was going up against Mike Tyson, and she gets the shit beat out of her. As she's about to die, George sacrifices himself for her, but he isn't the only one who dies. A few guys die on stage, but hundreds of audience members die, including Toshio. A storm rises, so they run inside Tom's house. Tom leaves to find Robbie and discovers all the cars have completely stopped working. As he's investigating, the pavement is destroyed and a giant iPod rises. It plays some tunes before flying up to reveal a massive robotic squid. It flies around, zapping everyone. Cindy goes back home and has a face-to-face with Toshio yet again, and Tom gets home and gets everything ready. Then he goes and searches for Cindy. After he finds her, he tells her that she can't come with him. However, he promises he will find her and and gives her a machine part, you know, for good luck. But like, what even is that? Tom runs to his buddy Marvin's car shop and steals a car. He yells at him to jump in, but he can't get the car door to unlock. Marvin gives up, so Tom drives away, and Marvin would die only a few moments later. Cindy finds a crashed plane and runs into Brenda. So Cindy shows Brenda this piece, but Brenda can't identify it either. So Brenda knocks the guy out and steals his car. Tom's car is almost stolen, but he proves dominance. Until he didn't.
We're taking the car.
While Cindy and Brenda are driving, Cindy's jump scared by Toshi, and they pull over at an Amish camp. They camp a bush until two girls come walking by, which they jump for their clothes. Tom finally finds military help, but they're just a little bit busy. And while he's investigating, Rachel is almost taken by Michael Jackson. Luckily, Tom comes back just in time to save her. While everyone's running away, a man comes, which Tom immediately trusts, so he leads them to safety. Unfortunately, there isn't enough time to find Robbie, so they just leave him behind. Tom and his daughter lay low in the stranger's cabin, but it only lasts a second. An alien breaks in and gets distracted with a vacuum for just a few seconds, but Rachel would alert it, so she gets taken first. Then Tom realizes he has to sacrifice himself too, so he does it. That's what he did. Finally, the aliens make it to the Amish, where they suck up Cindy and Brenda and keep them all in big metal baskets. This is where her and Tom reunite, allowing Tom to keep his promise. Cindy, Tom, and Brenda wake up in an alien trap. A puppet shows up on a TV and tells Cindy that they hid a key behind her eye. Unfortunately, the chosen eye was a false eye. She pops it out and unlocks her trap, which unlocks everyone else's. Everybody's feeling pretty good now.
But wait! There's more!
Until Tom's kids drop through the ceiling. They trap Tom yet again. Finally, the puppet reveals the ultimate trap. So Tom shares a final moment with his kids, which inspires the puppet. The puppet lets him go, and Brandy gets engaged to him, resulting in them calling off the alien invasion once and for all. Cindy stays with Tom. Brenda has a baby. Around 1869, Edith Brennan sacrificed her child from the top of a hill, accidentally killing herself in the process. Charlie is murdered by Edith's ghost around 2013. She kidnaps his 3 children and takes them to the woods. Edith, who named herself Mama, took these 3 children into the woods and hid them in a desolate cabin. She planned to sacrifice the children just whenever the time was right. Mac Miller and Snoop Dogg find the 3 girls while exploring the woods, searching for weeds. They find the Claywana farm and roll a massive pixie stick. The security deployed drones, so the 2 run. While catching their breath, they find a cabin, and after having a tiny debate, they finally do it. They go in and get spooked, so they shoot it up. For a few minutes, after some chasing, Snoop realizes it's the missing girls, so they call the cops and take the reward money. Meet Dan and Jody. A foster system calls Dan because... yeah. So Dan and Jody race to meet the kids. Jody almost immediately decides she doesn't want anything to do with them, but Dan contests. He has to fight for the kids and ends up winning. So he buys a brand new house, and the reveal goes, well, I would say pretty smooth. Jody bangs the baby's head on the door frame. Oh, and she also holds its head into a tiki torch. And then Jody admires some drawings and nobody notices Mama. This is actually scary. Dan works at a genetic lab. He's been injecting monkeys with an intelligence serum, but the results haven't been stellar. Only one of the monkeys have been showing decent turnouts, so Dan's on the rocks of being fired. The next morning, the couple comes downstairs, only to find the house completely destroyed. They suspect the kids. Dan decides they need more cameras after Jody finds some unsettling graffiti. So he immediately buys a bunch of new cameras, but keeps on getting hurt. Finally, he's brought to the hospital, only to get home and immediately resume, just to be rushed away almost instantly. Dan's beaten ruthlessly by his home appliances, so they call an exorcist. But in the end, he's murdered. Not Dan, the exorcist. Jody realizes she needs to go into the girl's dreams in order to understand Mama, so she calls a specialist. He trains her for something. So he doesn't help at all, but she hears of a cabin which may hold some answers. When she gets home, she finds Caesar and is made aware that he'll be staying with them for a while. A few days later, Jody's watching back some footage that was recorded in their bedroom. Kendra comes over, so Jody shows her video proof of Mama possessing her. This is enough to persuade Kendra. They go to the cabin and are met by Christian kids staying in it. They try to question them, but they're too innocent, so they break past them and go straight to the basement. It's here they find a book and read it out loud. The kids get possessed and tear each other apart. They read it some more and save them, but they continue and reactivate them. They continue this cycle over and over until they give up, accidentally leaving them possessed. Caesar has an altercation with Mama, but the family misinterprets it, so they call animal control, and this breaks Caesar's trust and loyalty to Dan as he's taken away. After Caesar's placed comfortably in the van, it's revealed all of the apes broke out and have been searching for him.
Our reports indicate that a scientist at a research laboratory gave these...
They're taken over. Jody discovers Mama's planning to go back to the same cliff that she sacrificed her original children on and accidentally committed suicide on, so she can sacrifice these kids and not commit suicide again. So Jody attempts to fight back, but she loses, and the girls leave with Mama. Jody follows Mama until they reach the cliff. She manages to win them all back. They throw Mama over the edge, where she falls into Snoop Dogg and Mac's private yacht's shark tank. So the girls live happily ever after in their new home, unknowingly awaiting the ape invasion.